All right. Okay. So if any one of your friends is going through this difficult time of their life, job searching, because it's not a fun journey to be in, it can be frustrating, disappointing, demotivating, because most of the time you will have more misses than hits. Right. So the very first thing that I'm touching on today is this thing called resume writing. It's not the most fun thing to do. Okay, but it is a very important piece of document that you need to have. Now, you need to understand that before you are being called for interview, whereby you have the stage to share about your experience, your skills, your resume is the key to interview. So with that in mind, even though the resume document is very boring, you don't like to write your resume, it is still very important because that is the piece of document that will sell you before you are given the opportunity to sell yourself. All right. So when we are talking about resume, of course, ideally, most people will say keep it to one page, right? Because if it's too long, no one is going to read. That's true. Okay, so what I will encourage everyone to do is it depends on your years of experience. Now, if you have less than 5 years of working experience, please keep it to one page resume. Now, if you have between uh, 5 to 10 years of experience, I think about 2 pages is just right. Okay, if you have anything more than 15 or 20 years of experience or 30 years of experience, please keep it to the relevant 15 years of experience. All right, the rest is not so important. Some of my clients, they have 30 years of experience. I'm not saying that they are not good experience, but at the end we are looking at relevant experience. So make sure the experience the you write on your resume is recent and relevant to the job that you're applying for. All right, so no one is supposed to go beyond 3 pages. Okay, if your resume is more than 3 pages, it is too long. Okay, and you need to understand that anybody wants to make a guess, whoever is in listening now, how long does a hiring manager recruiter spend reading your resume? An hour? 30 minutes? 20 minutes? 10 minutes? 5 minutes? Okay, so for most of the on average, okay, recruiters spend about 6 seconds reading your resume. So if your resume is not eye-catching enough, it's going to be, chuck away one side. So that there goes your opportunity to being interviewed. Okay, so what you're seeing now on the screen is ATS. So your resume must have relevant keywords. If your resume do not have the relevant keywords, then you will definitely not be seen. All right, now I'm going to share with you all another, besides understanding applicant tracking system, you also need to understand, okay, how to find keywords, right? Okay, how to make sure that I have the relevant keywords. Now, of course, there are a few tools that you can use. Okay, the first one that you see on my screen is Resume Word. Basically, what it does is that it helps to review your resume. Okay, so they will tell you that, hey, your resume is 25 out of 100, aim for 85%, etc. All right, so what you can do is you just upload your resume and let them do a scan for you. Once they do a scan, they will tell you what are some of the, um, let's say, some of the sample results. Let's see if they give me any. Yeah. Okay, so these are even some of the sample lines that they give you. Okay, so imagine today you want to be a marketing associate. Let's see if we have any. Oh, okay, you can't have this. This is, you need to pay. Let's just look for. Okay, I think we can do this by searching. All right, marketing. Marketing is too popular. They require you to pay. You know what? Then let's not use this part. What you just need to use from this is upload your resume to get your resume score. Once you have your resume score, they will be able to share with you some of the keywords that's missing. So this is what you can use from this free platform. Okay, I may not necessarily encourage all of y'all to upgrade. All right. Another one that you can use is this top CV resume. All right, so this is where you can also get a CV scan. All right, so again, this is also free. Of course, they may get you to pay after that, but you don't have to. All right, so use a free software available online that is free, whereby you can scan your resume just to make sure that you have the relevant keywords. Okay, another thing that you guys can use is, of course, using LinkedIn. How many of y'all uses LinkedIn? Okay, I'm just going through step by step so that you know. Okay, no questions so far. Let's see. All right, how can you use LinkedIn to write your resume? Okay, so all you need to do is go to your profile. Let's go and view your profile. Okay, so view your profile. Under here there is build your resume. Okay, so click on here and say create from profile. Okay, all right, let's build resume, create from profile. Okay, so what you need to do is to just type in the job title. So imagine, let's say, marketing associate. Okay, apply. Now, the moment you do this, okay, they will tell you that, hey, from your LinkedIn profile, these are the keywords that I have found in your resume that are relevant. So the rest of the relevant keywords will be this. So again, make sure you have all these keywords in your resume. If you do not have them, please don't write it in, don't bluff, okay? Please don't cheat. Okay. I don't encourage any one of you all to cheat in your resume, because at the end of the day, it will not do you any good. All right. So using this, you get to see that, hey, these are the suggested keywords. And in fact, they will actually also share with you other keywords that is good to have will be this. Okay, so this is an example of what are some of the keywords that you can have in your resume. Okay. All right, so right now I'm still just talking about resume, because I think when you're writing your resume, you want to write a good resume so that you are being seen and heard. Not heard yet, you're being seen by the algorithm, which is the ATS, and then passing on to the HR or the talent acquisition before you are being passed on to the hiring manager, whereby you get an opportunity to speak for yourself. Okay, so I am mainly still talking about ATS here, right? Keywords. So this is how you can use LinkedIn to help you. I'm just going to pause for a couple of seconds just to see if any one of you have any questions. That's one. Number two is, if for those of you who just came in, today's session is going to be about an hour. All right, I'm happy to answer any question related to career, job search, interview. So if any one of you or any of your friends is going through this process, I think please share this video with them, or you know what, best, please interact with me, ask me questions in the chat and I will answer them. Okay, so right now I'm not seeing any questions, so looks like all of you are very well prepared. That's very good, very happy for you. Okay. All right, so and then I was sharing about the various tools that you can use to scan your resume. So there's Resume Word, there is Top CV. These are relatively, I wouldn't say 100% accurate. Okay, so there is no 100% accurate ATS, by the way. There is only, again, no best ATS software. There is no best resume. It's only relevance. We talk about being relevant here. Okay, so what you need to do is, when you are using all these various software to help you to scan your resume, take reference. Okay, even the one that you're seeing on the screen right now, which is using LinkedIn to build your resume, what the attention that I want to bring to you is actually the suggested keywords that you see here that I have highlighted. Okay, so this is good to have, in fact, must have in your resume if you want to be a marketing associate because I was building this resume to be a marketing associate. Can you see? Desired job title of a marketing associate. This is found in my resume, and then these are the suggested keywords that should be in my resume if I want to apply for marketing associate. Of course, you can do the same for others. So how do you do the same for others? For those of you who just came in, all right, go to your LinkedIn and you can build your resume. So can you see build a resume? All right, so create from profile and just key in the job title. Just now I tried marketing associate, right? Maybe now I can try, let's say, operation manager. Apply. Okay, so for operation manager, what is found in my resume is all these keywords, which is great. Okay, but they also suggested that these are the keywords or key skills that you should have, or ideally it's good for you to have if you want to be a operational manager, and of course other keywords as such. So again, if you have any of these keywords or skills that you possess, make sure you write them down in your resume. All right, so I'm just taking it slowly, step by step, so that if any one of you have any question, y'all can ask me in the chat. Yeah. Okay, so resume is one of the most boring document that any one of us love to write. In fact, I never like writing it. But as I said, it is a resume. It is a document that sells you before you are given an opportunity to sell yourself, which is the interview itself. Right? So make sure you put some effort in your resume, because I always find that it's actually quite you know, you're already spending time applying for jobs. So make sure that the time you are spending to apply for jobs is well spent. You don't just want to apply for jobs without putting in some effort into it. If you're just applying for jobs, spamming applications, trust me, 90% of the time the return rate is very low, and the person who's going to suffer is you, because subconsciously you'll be thinking that I have been applying a lot of jobs, okay, but because you have applied so many jobs, you're spamming jobs, then at the end of the day you're not hearing back from the companies, and that's where you will feel demoralized or you will feel jaded because no one get back to you. Okay, and you have to take responsibility for it, because if you are not customizing your job search, you are not writing good resume, you will not be seen and you will not be called for interview. So you have to take responsibility if you are not being, if there's no company coming back to you. All right, so if you're already applying for job, then my suggestion is make sure that every step that you do is to your best of your ability. If you are writing your resume, make sure you write a good resume, a customized one, a tailored one. Okay, if you are going for a job interview, make sure you prepare yourself to the best that you can. Right, so make sure every step that you are doing is to your best. Don't just go through the motion. If you're just going to go through the motions, you're not going to get the results that you want, and you are the one that is going to be suffering. All right, so that is my 2 cents worth to encourage everyone to make sure that every single step is done to the best of your ability. All right, so I was still touching on ATS, how you can use various softwares, different tools out there in the market to make sure that you have the suggested keywords to have in your resume. Now, when it comes to writing resume, you need to be aware that you don't just write your roles and responsibility. You need to show people your achievement. Okay, so quantifying what you call it, quantifying your skills, your contribution to the organization is so important. All right, let me see if I can pull out a, a document. I mean, it is really, I came across it and I thought it was quite cute. So, but it's a good way for us to learn how to quantify things. So let me see, let me see if I can bring it up. Give me 1 second. Mm, Okay, there we go. Are you able to see this? Okay, maybe let me cut this off and bring this to the center. Am I able to zoom? Is it too small? I think so, right? Okay. Okay, so this is a very fun way to learn how to quantify things. Now, as you can see, okay, this is just for fun, okay? This is really just for fun. But I want to use this simple example to share with you how you can learn to quantify your achievement or quantify things, right? You don't just say that you are a consumer, right? For example, okay, when we talk about quantifying things, we can be talking about what are you proficient in terms of the tools that you know. When we talk about quantifying, we can also be talking about the the vendors or your clients that you work with. So the brand names is something that you can put in to quantify it. All right, you can talk about the team size that you have been managing. Okay, so that maybe you don't just say that I led team. Okay, you say things like I led a team of 5 engineers and 2 designers. Okay, so that is quantifying. So numbers are important. Brand names, client names. When I say client's name, I'm talking about the organization name. So probably you have partnered with this company A, company B before, has a designer, etc. Okay, quantifying your achievement also means you can talk about efficiency, you can talk about uh, productivity. Okay, so you can measure in terms of percentage, or time spent is reduced by how much. Okay, so all these things is part of quantifying. You need to learn how to quantify your achievement in your resume. Okay, people do not want to read what you are doing. Don't tell me that you are doing weekly reporting. Don't say things like prepare weekly reports, prepare weekly presentation, that manage calls, ensure that office supplies are available. If you are saying this in your resume, it's also going to be a very tough fight for you. Okay, what you want to do is you want to quantify your achievement. Okay, tell me what was the achievement, tell me what was the outcome based on what you do. Okay, so if you say that you prepare weekly reports, so tell me what does this weekly reports leads to. Okay, so you can say that I help okay, so you can say prepare department weekly report to be presented at direct or board meeting. Okay, so this could be something that you elaborate further. Okay, so when you say that statement, people get to understand that, hey, you are good at presentation, you know how presenting to senior management or C-suite management is something that you are okay with doing, you're comfortable with doing, you're confident of doing. Okay, so yes, this is also part of quantifying. Okay, so okay, yeah, again, just having fun learning how to quantify things, like 100% onboarding completed in 3 months. Okay, so figures like that is important. So please learn to quantify your achievement in your resume. So now what I will challenge you to do is go back to your resume right now and see, hey, am I doing that right now? Am I quantifying my achievement, or am I just like writing my day-to-day job scope? And if you're doing that, it's going to be so boring. No one is going to call you up. All right, so learn to quantify things by, number one, you can talk about the brands that you work with, the tools that you know how to use, the the team size that you have been leading, the efficiency, the productivity that you bring to the organization, the revenue that you bring to the organization, the cost saving that you bring to the organization. All this stuff, okay, are things that you can share. Okay, besides quantifying things like that, you can also be um, looking at sharing your soft skills. Okay, so are you all seeing this image? Yeah, I'm sure you guys are seeing this image. Okay, Okay, so besides learning to quantify your skill set, you can also mention about your soft skills. Okay, so your resume should be a good blend of technical expertise, your technical skills for you to perform in that job, and of course, your soft skills in terms of people management, right? So when you talk about soft skills, there are different types of soft skills, and you can see here that soft skills can be interpersonal soft skills. So you're talking about how you work along with others, your colleagues, your supervisors, suppliers, stakeholder, vendors, whatever, so long as you are working with a different person. Okay, so these some of the soft skills that you can talk about or elaborate would be things like emotional intelligence, adaptability, collaboration, teamwork, maybe even crisis management, conflict resolution, training your staff, training your juniors, mentoring your juniors, or if you are in sales, you are doing a lot of negotiation, things like that. Okay, so that is also soft skills. Now, interpersonal is one type of soft skills. Another type of soft skills that we can be looking at is, let's say, planning. We classify it as planning, empowering yourself to take initiative when opportunity arise. Okay, so things like problem solving, goal setting, prioritizing, analysis, time management. Okay, all these things is part of your planning skills. And the last type of soft skills we can be looking at management. Okay, so things like taking charge of organizing people, processes, and procedure. So especially if, let's say, you're a leader or you're a manager, you're looking for similar level of position, similar rank, you may also want to learn how to showcase in your resume in terms of how do you manage performance, how do you do effective scheduling, how do you lead, how do you negotiate, how do you create buy-in, and how do you do evaluation. All right, so these two images that I'm showing here, the first one talks about how to quantify things. Quantifying things talks about the brands that you work with, the companies that you work with, the tools that you are proficient in. You also talk about the team size that you lead, the efficiency, the productivity that you increase, the revenue that you bring, the cost saving that you bring. Okay, and then this is all quantifying it. The next one that I shared with you was this image that talks about, hey, what are some of the soft skills that you can elaborate or you can use. These are some of the keywords that you can use to write in your resume when you are elaborating and explaining some things. All right, so at this point in time, I'm just going to pause a while so that if you have any questions, please feel free to ask me. All right.
I focus 好，修好再。
Okay. All right. So let me go back. So I cover a few things here today besides ATS. I talk about making sure that your resume, okay, you quantify your achievements. Okay, you quantify your achievement, very important. So resume should also be a combination of your technical skills for you to excel in the job plus soft skills. All right. Okay, so these are some of the things that I've covered so far. Okay. All right. So fast 30 minutes has gone. Nice. And I talk about, okay, yeah, that's pretty much what I mentioned. Okay, so I'm just going to do this. I guess you guys can watch the replay after this is done. Yeah, I'll upload it onto YouTube. Okay. All right. Any question related to career, job search, interview? Anything along that line, please let me know. Please ask me in the chat and I'll do my best to answer them. Alright, or if you know of anyone who is going through a difficult time in their life because of the pandemic or the recent layoffs in the workforce, please feel free to share this video with them and invite them to come in, because they can ask me any question, and as a career coach, I will do my best to answer them, right? I think I said it like a million times already. Okay, so resume, that's that. Alright, I would love to show you guys another tool that I think would be very useful for you, which is this. Okay, now as you can see on my screen, this is by LinkedIn. Okay, so it's called the Career Explorer. Am I clear? Okay, I think I'm clear. Alright, yes, now you can select this based on the city you are in. So currently I am in Singapore, so I will write Singapore. Okay, so what you can see here is the various skills that's needed for, let's say, business analyst, sorry. Okay, so business analyst, maybe these are some of the key skills that a BA should have. And then these are some of the skills that to build, for example. Alright, so for those of you who are thinking of upgrading, upscaling, and you do not know where to get started, this is a good place to go and understand what are the key skills that people are looking at. Now, unfortunately for this, it is not the most comprehensive. Okay, so you have Singapore. So depending on where you are tuning in, you can find your respective country. Now, the only thing is that the job may not be very comprehensive. It may not be a huge spectrum. Okay, and yeah. Okay, so if let's say you want to be a administrative executive, you just type accordingly, and you realize that these are some of the skills that administrative executive must have, and these are some of the skills that people will encourage you to build. So similar job, besides being an administrative assistant, there is office manager, there is executive assistant. All right, so this is also a very good site for you guys to use. All right, if you can see it on my web, I'm sharing my screen so you can see, just use this. All right, again, if let's say you want to look for engineer, let's say project engineer, again, these are some of the skills a project engineer should have, ideally, depending, of course, project engineer is very broad, right? Because different industry may require different set of skills or domain knowledge. But what you are seeing on the screen now is the general recommended skills for project engineer to have. And then you can also see some of the skills that you can build. Let's say as a technical officer, what are the skills? Design engineer, what are some of the skills, etc. You go down the line. Alright, so this is another good site for you guys to use. Now, if let's say you are not in Singapore and you want to go to, let's say, Malaysia, even Malaysia is really big, right? So let's go KL. Okay, retail sales specialist, there you go. And maybe if you don't want to be this, you can look for something else. Let's say, is there anyone thing in marketing? Marketing and bank. Okay, there you go. Again, the skills that you should have or should be building. Okay, let's say you don't want Malaysia, let's go into Indonesia. Let's say Jakarta. All right, there you go. Then maybe we can talk about business development. Okay, and these are the skills. Okay. Right, so this is one site that I recommend you guys to use should you want to know where is the gap to fill. Okay, it's pretty informative. Question, anyone? Actually, I cannot see how many people is in this. Okay. Can you see it here? LinkedIn.github. I think I can copy and put it in the chat. Let me go. Do you see it? Brazil. I'm so sorry if I don't get your name right. Brazil. Raza. Yeah. Okay, so this is the Career Explorer. You can use this to help you to know what are the skills. If you have those skills, use those keywords and put it in your resume. So you don't need to crack your brain, all right, what kind of vocabulary I must have in my resume. Right. So what I'm doing today, right, is really to help you to simplify the process by giving you different tools so that you can use them. And with the tools, with the keywords, use those keywords and put it in your resume. All right. Of course, only use them if you have those skills. Now, if let's say you are in the process of wanting to do an upgrade, upskilling, and you do not know what skills to build, there you go, right in front of you, there are some skills that you must have. And if you think that you are weak in that, then find courses or people or relevant organization that can help you to build these skills. All right. Okay, so that's that. Um, so I have covered a couple of things here. If your current role is a non-managerial role, how can you qualify for one? Okay, so my first question to you is, I assume you are still in your current work role, right? I assume you are still in job. You have a job in your current organization. Now, if you want to qualify for one, number one is you need to understand within your organization, is there room for you to be promoted or be a lead in something? Okay, there is no such thing as or immediately becoming a manager, because becoming a manager also requires you to have some leadership skills or experience. So if you do not have that, then my suggestion right now is to find ways to gain that experience and gain that credibility. So can check in with your organization or within your current organization, are there projects that you can take lead? Are you able to ask your supervisor for you to be the lead for this particular project, for example? Okay, and from there, I'm sure you can slowly work your way up, but you need to start somewhere. So even if you don't continue to stay in this organization, with the experience that you have led teams, right, in when you move on to the next role, you can start to apply for team lead role, for example. Okay, so please make sure that you start building your experience in that space that you want to go. All right, so that is my suggestion for you. You will definitely be qualified to be one so long as you have the experience. And of course, becoming a manager is also a different ball game. All right, becoming a manager, that one of your KPI will be team management and team performance. So it must be something that you like to do as well. Okay. Then it depends on what you are saying to your interviewers and what you have been writing in your resume as well. If you don't, if you're not able to share with them what you have been doing, the interviewer may not be able to see that you have that skills. So you may want to see how you are sharing your experience when interviewer asks you, do you have supervisory experience? Okay, so you need to give them concrete examples. So for example, it could be along the line whereby, yes, in my previous role, I have been leading projects and team lead. So some of the projects that I lead, I will also have to supervise the end-to-end process. So some of the things that I oversee includes number one, project delivery, number two, team management, number three, maybe scheduling, and number four, maybe stakeholder management. So it really depends on how you are saying to your interviewers. Otherwise, if you don't say it the right way, people will not be able to see that you have the experience. All right. So if you have the experience, you need to be able to showcase that. Thank you for the question. It's a good question. All right. Yeah. Okay. So I was on this screen, right? So let me go back. I'd like to take the next maybe 10 minutes to share with you guys this resource as well. Let's talk about salary. Okay. All right. Salary is such a big thing, of course, right? If you work, you do want to be paid fairly, remunerated fairly, and of course, you want to support your family, yourself, your lifestyle, whatever you call it. And I think salary is important. Now, if you are in Singapore, again, whatever that I'm sharing with you guys today is all available online. It doesn't require you to pay extra money. You don't even need to pay any money, not even extra, no money required. Right? So I'm putting all this resource out there so that you guys can take reference and may all this help you. Okay, so I have just pasted them in the chat. I hope you can access them. Now this is a really interesting thing. Okay, it is created by Singapore in line with Straits Times and Ministry of Manpower data, right? So how does this thing work? Let us do an example, right? Let's say I am 20 years old, okay, and my monthly salary, let's say, is 4,500, okay, and the job title, let's say I'm an accountant, and the industry that I'm in. Now, this is very useful, right? Okay, all of you, I will really encourage all of you to be very smart. You need, okay, cannot say you need to be very smart. You need to be very flexible. You need to be able to use one, when one thing is being presented to you, you need to be able to duplicate it and maximize it. So in Chinese, we call it 举一反三, but I do not know how to translate that to English. Right, so what do I mean? Let me give you an example. Now, some of my clients, they will be like, hey, Sam, I do not know what industry are there. Hello, when you do this and you click down, all the drop down already tell you the different types of industry. Don't tell me you don't know what kind of industry are there in the market. All right, so you need to be able to draw relevance. Okay, so let's say you are an accountant in the manufacturing industry, so let's go. All right, so unfortunately your monthly salary of 4,500 is below the median, so you're earning slightly lower than people of your age. So I like to emphasize on this, and this means they are comparing you with people in the similar bracket, which is between 30 to 34, because just now I write 30 years old, right? Okay. So if you are going for a job interview, you are asking for they will ask you what is your expected salary. Hello, the figures is in front of you. All right. If you want to give them a fair market range, this is the range that you can give them. You can say that my salary expectation is between, let's say the medium is 4.9, right? And then now you are at 4.5, right? So maybe you can say that I'm looking at somewhere between 4.8 to 5.5. Okay, so you can always give them a range. Okay, all right, so this is a guide to help you. All right, so the figures are there for you to help yourself. All right, and you know that you are underpaid, right? Okay, so either you, in your appraisal, you can talk to your boss, hey, you know what, we probably need to talk about pay increment. Now if you are looking for a new job, you know the figure to ask for. Okay, so this is how it can help, how this figure can help you. And the rest is what else, where else could your skills take you besides being accountant? You can move between auditor, tax accountant, assistant, etc. And they even tell you some of the skills that you need to have in your profession if you want to continue to grow. Okay, so it's pretty informative. Now again, let's go back. For those of you who are not able to see the website URL, this is interesting. Okay, but can you just Google? Okay, once you Google, you will be able to have the link. It's called Straits Times. I even spelled Straits Times wrongly. Okay, Straits Times salary guide. Okay, just type this in Google, and you should be able to find the first one, and it should lead you to this page. Okay, now as I said, the resource that I'm sharing is free. Okay, so long as you have a working internet, there's no reason why you are not able to access. Okay, so just now I tried 30 years old, right? So let me go 45 then. Monthly salary, let's say 7,500. Just now I tried accountant. Maybe today, right now, I will try something like um, customer service manager. And the industry could be um, maybe information and comms. Let's go. Oh wow, 7,500 is considered low, you know, if you are in information and communication, you're in the bottom 25%. Okay, so this gives you a guide where you stand among people around your age, because I say 49, right? Again, you will be able to see. So this one, they didn't tell you much, but for this role, you know that you are, let's see, give me 1 second. Not only can you compare within your industry, you can compare with your peers. So even though you may be earning a little bit low, quite low actually, in terms of your industry standard, but across all industry, your earning is top 35% between when compared to your peers. There you go. So the median for a 45 to 49, the median is 4,000 to 4,009 in your group earnings. Okay, that's quite unexpected. Let me try again. Let me validate. 40 years old, monthly salary 5,000. Let's say audit manager, professional service. Your earnings are in the bottom. Interesting data. I never see this part in detail. Let's say just testing. You see um, civil engineer, industry, construction. So, right, 6,000 is considered high. Your earnings are top 41% of your peers between 35 to 39. The medium is this. So interesting, huh? Interesting data. Okay. That's why I'm sharing this with you guys. Alright. Cool. Okay, good. So these are some of the things that I've shared with all of y'all today. Number one, we talk about resume. We talk about there's this thing called the applicant tracking system. So before a human being reads your resume, it actually goes through some sort of algorithm first. So the algorithm will filter your resume before a human being reads it. So sometimes you don't get response. It's not because you're not good enough. It's just that you're not seen. So it means to say you need to do something to your resume. So for you to do something to your resume, you need to make sure you have relevant keywords, which I shared with you where you can find keywords for different roles, right? You can use free software to help you to do a scan. You can use LinkedIn, and you can also use things like this is also part of LinkedIn, right? So some of the key skills here. And I also shared with you guys how you can use this to understand whether you are being remunerated fairly. Okay, and if let's say you are looking at a pay increment or your interviewer is asking you for expected salary, you can use this as a guide to talk about what is our expectation in and always give them a range. Right, so that is very important, must always give them a range. Okay, so these are some of the things that I have shared with all of you today. The next session that I'll be having is on the 16th of November. It's a Wednesday at 8 p.m. So it's in the evening. Alright, so the reason why I'm doing this is really to support as many people in the community in this kind of format so that maybe some of the things that I shared, it can give you some inspiration, give you guys some head start when it comes to job search or even interview tips, right? So of course, if you have any friends who are going through a very difficult time, especially in recent pandemic or in fact the recent layoffs, please share this with them, okay, so that I can use this session to answer any questions that any one of y'all may have. All right, so the next session is happening on 16 November, 8 p.m. Singapore time. Okay, so yeah, I'm probably ending this session very soon. Any one of you have any last question? I think this is a good time for you to check in with me. And I will stop sharing my desktop screen so that you guys can um, ask me any question. Right, there we go. Hi, hi. Okay, you finally see me full screen. Okay. Any question? Anyone want to ask? I know it's a weekend, so maybe nobody is in the mood. And I choose this because it's weekend and you probably only have some time on weekend itself, right? So that's the reason why I choose this time. Otherwise, I will be also doing my own fair share of resting. Of course, the next session that is happening on Wednesday, Singapore time, Wednesday 13, no, 16th of November, 8 p.m. Okay, I also choose a weekday evening. All right, so maybe it can work for some people as well. Maybe Sunday is a family time, right? And who wants to talk to a career coach on a Sunday when it comes to work? It's so boring, right? But it's so important for us to always evaluate our career. Okay, so I will encourage everyone to do a yearly career review. You know, when you most people they will do a review on, let's say, their finances. Okay, like on the year end they will do a review on their finances. Some people will do a review on next year holiday. Yeah, so sorry, my computer no battery. Okay, so I was saying, yeah, you could be reviewing your finances on a yearly basis. Some people may be reviewing on the holiday that's going to happen next year so that you can plan your leave for the following year. Good stuff, right? Now, another thing that I encourage all of y'all to review is your career. Okay, look at how far you have come in your career for the past 1 year. What are the achievements that you have achieved? What are the new scope that you have done? Take this chance to update your resume. Okay, whether you are looking for a job or not, take this chance to update your resume. Now, after you are done with that, okay, then maybe you can see what's in it for you the following year. Not following year, the next year. Okay, where is the company direction heading to? How is it going to affect you? Is there any new opportunities, project that you can volunteer? You can put your hand up for it. Okay, so start thinking about it, start planning and start. So these are some of the things that you can do when you're reviewing your career. Also think about what are some of the skills that you may want to pick up whether your current organization is able to sponsor you, or whether the current organization has the kind of platform whereby you can gain experience. All right, so that is part of reviewing your career. Don't leave it to chance. A lot of my clients, they like to leave their career to chance. The moment you leave your career to chance, then yeah, everything is to chance. All right, so you cannot have much expectation. So, and you are usually at the mercy of external factors except yourself. So when I'm asking you to do review for yourself, I'm also encouraging all of you all to take control back when it comes to your career. All right. Unfortunately, this is something that the school doesn't teach, just like the school doesn't teach us how to, manage proper finance, right? This is something that we have to learn when we are in the workforce itself. And also, unfortunately, the moment people step into workforce, they are usually so tired from work, right? And they just doesn't do not have the bandwidth to reevaluate and to do all this quiet planning, review, and what's not. So if any one of you who are here still listening to me, this is something that I will really encourage you to do so. All right. Otherwise, you will be affected easily whenever there's any macro changes in the outer space. Okay, not outer space like the space, but external environment. Okay. All right, so sincere encouragement. If there's no other question, I'm going to end today's session. Thank you everyone for coming in for your questions. The next time I'll be seeing you will be on 16 November, 8 p.m. All right, see you. Bye.